everyone! Happy New Year! It's 2020! Took me a little while to find my microphone. Like, turn it on. Yes. I thought I'd get things started. I know it's not exactly noon, but hi! How's you doing? I know it has been a while. It has been nuts. I'm telling you. December, it's like PAX Unplugged was done, and it just perpetuated itself in terms of going, and it's still not gone. And yes, Puddin' Tame did mention a little something in the works. I can't talk about it yet. Hopefully soon. I think you guys are going to be excited about it. We shall see. But I just want to keep it more, quiet until it's official. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to paint the baby alien miniature that I have. I already painted up one of them and love the way he came out. And this is him right now. This is the, using his special powers pose. And this is one of the minis that was printed out on our PRUSA something Mach 3, I want to say, Mach 2. So that is the printer we have. It's PLA based. So I do have striations and things like that to deal with every so often. I was getting a lot of questions with this little fellow in terms of how I get it so that it's not so noticeable for the striations and what I do with that, and also what paints I use and how I painted him, things like that. So we're going to work with another pose. This is the cute little alien baby sipping from his little sippy cup that I'll be doing. Forewarning. This is adorable and sweet and lovable and cute. If you go to my Facebook page, I have the link to the file, the STL file on Thingiverse for this particular miniature for today, to prevent confusion. For today, I put the miniature that I'm doing today. That is in the description below. So you can always click on that if you have a 3D printer or a friend who has access to one and print that out. I am going to preface this with the fact that if you have a resin printer, lucky you, first of all. You won't need to do all of the prep work that I'm going to discuss. The prep work itself, I'm not going to sit here and do it on camera because sometimes that can take a while. And rather than, watch me sand things for half an hour, I did it ahead of time. I'm just going to explain the tools that I use to help me get a more smoothed out effect, because this little guy, I'll get him close as I can. This little guy, he does have some striations, but they don't really pop out that much with the different things that I'm doing lately to sort of give it a more even surface, which I'll share with you so you can hopefully have similar results with your own PLA printouts. Remember, don't bash the PLA stuff. There are a lot of people who still have those printers and still putting them to use, so it's valuable information. So this is the one that I finished, and he actually does sit at my bedside table. Because, I know Opera Ghost, but you know what? You don't want to mess with the mouse too much. Let's put it that way. So this little guy, he's by my bedside table. I wake up and there he is, and I go to sleep, and last thing I see type of thing. It just makes me happy. The whole thing makes me happy. The whole show I actually very much enjoy, especially the whole spaghetti western-esque factor to it. And when season 2, yeah, I'm happy with it. I was happy with the movie too, so hey, but let's not debate that because that's going to turn into one of those things. So hello to everyone in the chat. It is wonderful to see you all going as it is. So it's just, I missed you guys very much. I hope you all had, if not fun holidays, at least restful holidays. Let me put it that way. I know the holidays can be difficult for some, so I don't want to say happy, everything like that. Bonjour, Matthew. And hello, Dan. And, brain just went bye-bye. Oh, yeah. So, anyways, what we're going to do is take a look at the mini for this one. I feel like I need to give a content warning. The mini that I'm doing today does not come in one solid piece. It comes in 3 separate pieces. Oh, God. So, this is what the mini looks like when you print it out. You get the cup, okay? His cute little cuppy, which really isn't going to need too much work. This is just my having sanded it down, putting on my Mod Podge mix that I do, spraying it with Mod Podge Ultra, hello Jody B, and then just letting things dry. But because of the striations, it's very wood-like looking already, so I think I'm only going to need to go in and do some highlighting with a couple different browns. So there's that. Now, and this is going to be the tip-off, and this is her. I'm sorry, this was not my design. Here's the body. Okay, so you get the cute little robe and everything. I think what I might do, because if you look at the show, there is some texture to the cowl. So I think what I might do is go in and possibly give this some texture with, I don't know, maybe some sand. I'm debating it because I'm worried it might start flaking off. If not, I think what I'll do then is sponge this area to give it the effect of having sort of like a terry cloth, lamb's wool type of look to it. So that's the base of the body. You can see it's got a little opening here for the head. And this is where I felt so horrible doing this. But here's the head. I feel like I've put this little baby's head on a pike and oh dearie me. But this is the head. So you can see it's these 3 separate pieces. However, hello Mixonovitsky, sorry. However, this is going to be much easier to paint because I can focus on the flesh details on the head and then focus on the textile details of the body a little bit more easily and not have to worry about it as much. Hello, Thor Draco. It needs to be nicer to the Elven Maid. It's not just me. So the Elven Maid is teaching you in an educational video how to get a green flesh tone going that gives you a sense of depth to the skin so it looks more flesh-like as opposed to just, oh, that's plastic. So that is the plan for today. I know, poor baby. So let's talk shop about, if you have a PLA printer, how to get things a little bit more smoothed out. Because you can see some of these striations, but they're not as definite and obvious as they were before. And there are reasons for that. Hello, Brandon Dudley. You can especially tell on the back here. This actually, it looked like a piece of wood before I put some work into this. So my little tricks are this. I feel like I'm shouting. Am I shouting at you? Am I shouting? There you go, to the creepy child voice. So what I first do is I will go in with just a basic emery board. And I get the smaller ones because I find them easier to manipulate, and you can actually still see. I've put some use to this one. So what I do is I take a normal nail file emery board, just a cheap pack or whatever. Smaller ones I find are easier to manipulate into the areas, and basically just go across the body, and this helps me remove any spurs or things that are poking out, obviously that type of thing, because sometimes even with cleanup you still have those little bits that are left over. So I'll go in with one of these and just file those away and try to get it as smooth as I possibly can. Every so often, it's the I always say Prussia, the PRUSA 2 or 3 Mach 2 or 3. My brain is on freezing up on me mode. John! Hi, John! So I will do that if there are some bits that are very serious and not pulling off. This is honestly I go to it. I love this guy, and yes, you could use a utility knife. You could. I don't personally feel comfortable using utility knives because, cutting and slipping of knife, not good. So I'll go to my Citadel remover thing, and it's great because you can just run it along and it pulls up those little details. Do be careful though with 3D prints. You do not need to press very hard at all. If you go in too difficult, thank you. You're right, Puddin. Puddin. Golden star for Puddin today. So that is the plan with this one. Just go lightly in with it, because if you start pressing in, you're going to actually start making things worse. But this guy is great for grazing pieces off. So once I've done that, once I've gotten all those little bits and pieces off that are a little bit more noticeable and in the way, I then move over, and this is something you can buy in the manicure aisle of pretty much any department store. The big W, the big T. You can even go into drugstores and find these too. So what I do is I buy these replaceable pads. And if you wanted to, you could put it onto something else to stick them around because they're stickers. But I will use their buff and smooth options on these because it does help buff and smooth. So that's how I help start smoothing the surface out and getting it a little less striated. Finally, what I do is I then will take just classic Mod Podge, and I do burnt umber. You know how I am. I do burnt umber mixed equal parts and give it a good coating. Okay, so this gets a good coating of that. It starts to fill in the lines. And then the next thing I've started to do, and I have found that it really is making a difference, and I'm actually going to use it throughout the day as we're painting this little fellow. I have started to do a spray of the Mod Podge Ultra. This is, if you don't have this product, please go get it. It is a wonderful tool. I have been using it pretty much on every single project that I have going. It's reliable. It does a fantastic job sealing minis. Like, oh, hello, hi. I have my beholder around here somewhere. I'll show you my beholder that I'm sealing up right now for a commission piece. But this guy, what I will do is I then did how many spritzes? I did 2 spritzes of this. Make sure it dries each go around, otherwise it'll build up. You may have to go in with a brush like I did and just sort of brush in the excess or brush off the excess. And that too starts filling in those lines that would be far more obvious from the PLA print. Again, if you have resin, this isn't so much something you need to know. So that is another thing I've started doing with my 3D prints and finding it really does help fill in the gaps a little bit more, which I have been doing with this fellow the whole time. Let's see if I can get him. So you can see like faint little hints of it by the ear, but it has made a huge difference. So that's what I do personally with my 3D prints to get them prepped and ready to go. And once everything is dry, I'm then going to go into how I got his little cute face all pulled together and the body all pulled together so it ends up looking like this. And when everything's painted, I'll then assemble. And I mean, this is just preciousness. He has this little cuppy, little sippy cup that's going to go in the hands. Obviously, I'm going to need to glue. There's no way around that one, but it should be fun to get that settled as well as painted. May we behold your beholder? Sure. I was sharing it on Twitter. Yeah, I shared it on Twitter yesterday. Here he is. So this brute, I still need to get his eyes and mouth more sealed up. That's still drying. But this was a custom order for a client who reached out to me. He wanted this particular color combination fade, and he'll probably be getting sent out on Friday back to, or not, well, to his new home, I should say. And I think he's going to be entering in a campaign right quick once he gets there. But I love doing beholders. I think this is my 6th or 7th one. So yeah, he's I'm happy with. I'm a proud mama of this fellow. I still need to put him on his base and everything and get the stem cleaned up, but I always do that after I've done some sealing. Thank you very much, Jim. Oh, I'm loving the blues too. The blues are such a fun thing for a beholder. And the golden cat eye too was a fun way to kind of just put that in there. So anyways, there is, you're gonna stay? He might want to run away. All right. So there is the basics of what I do for prep work for myself and what I found has really worked with our particular prints and what comes out. We just get a spool. I just get a spool from Amazon. I want to say it's Amazon's brand. I'm trying to remember. But yeah, that's what gets me started. Now let's get into this whole flesh tone thing, because that's really what people were locking onto is how did you get the skin to look like skin. I was getting a few direct messages about that on Twitter and Facebook and everything. So I thought, let's address that. We're going to get into some rough color theory here, because that's really how it gets the eye to trick to look like there's more depth to it. So forewarning, it's going to get a little technical, but I'm going to try to explain the whys of it. So if you look at any person's skin tone, there's always an undertone. You might hear of like the seasonal, I'm a winter, I'm a spring, I'm an autumn, I'm a summer. A lot of that has to do with the undertone colors that you're getting. So with this guy, I spent time studying him. If anyone knows me on Twitter, you know I am very obsessed with him to the point where I think my response is usually just baby with exclamation points. But looking over stills and beams and all that fun stuff, he definitely has sort of this bluish undertone to the green of his skin. So what I'm going to first do with him is actually get my base layer of the undertone going. And for that, and I always use craft paints. For my 3D prints, I always go craft paints and Plaid. I love you and I love your products. So I'm going to jump in here with denim blue. Denim blue is going to be my undertone for the skin. And that is going to help me get things going so it has a more bluish gray cast under what's going to go on top. So for that, I'm just jumping into I'm going to use my Plaid paint brushes. Just going to show you the numbers. No, because it's silver. So I'm going in with a 1/4 inch angle. It's the Color by Me brand. You can find these at Walmart. So what season is Alien Baby? He's more of the winter. I guess he could kind of fall into some neutral too, because I noticed with some of the stills, it vacillates between a really warm tone to a really cool tone, or he could just be a lucky neutral. But I have found that this color combination definitely worked out well. Beauty is really in that. Thank you very much, AC. So I'm just going to jump right in and start painting in the denim blue. And in this case, no, I am not going to thin the paint out. I don't want to do that because, again, that helps me with my striations. And it helps to brush with the striations if you can, just to really get them in there. Now, don't forget, get the paint in his ears. And I know that sounds funny, but there are little nooks and crannies to hit. I still feel like this is just so bizarre, having his little head on a separate little bit like this. This is just a pill bottle filled up with sand and blue tack holding it on. You can use whatever miniature painter holder thing you might have. Totally good. There are those fun bottle cap style ones where you put it on the bottle cap, and then there's like this little hooky holder thing you can use. I think it depends on baby's mood and if he's using, oh yes, if he's using his powers, maybe that comes into play. Now, I'm not going to discuss the show. I want to be nice. I don't want to inadvertently give away any bits of information, spoilers for people who have not seen it yet. So I ask the chat, please be kind and keep it on the down low as well. Now, the nice thing is the bottom of him got a little rough, but I checked it and actually nests nicely into the body. So I actually didn't do too much to, you can probably see it now. I didn't do too much on purpose to smooth this out because I realized if I have that little bit of texture, that's going to help it adhere nicely. So I didn't go too crazy. I took off the major points that were making it more into a bobblehead because of the spurs, but I did leave a little bit there just to help things stick. So basically it's just going in here and really making sure I get this layer on first. And then you'll see where I go from there. Now this guy has his eyes open, whereas the other one had his eyes closed. So I'm going to do my absolute best to do the cute little big brown eyes. Absolutely. Alan wants to go in with a Q-tip, cotton swab, cotton bud, whatever it is you tend to call it in your region. Believe it or not, they all have different, it seems to be there are different terms depending on where you live for those things. I've gotten comments like, do you mean this? I'm like, yeah, I mean that. That's what I mean. It's like the whole tissue, facial, tissue, etc. type of stuff. So yep, just this is the blue denim again. It's apple barrel. And it's one of those blues that has a nice gray to it, which I like. It doesn't get too one color or the other in terms of brightness of blue. So I'm happy about that. And in terms of other undertones I have done in the past, well, you saw, for those of you who have watched the Cthulhu streams, who remembers PLAID Cthulhu? That was hysterical. Oh my gosh. That looked like a bloodbath by the time he was done. I based him in an undertone of reds. And it really did make a difference in the end result. But boy howdy, did it look disturbing while I was going for that part of the session. We had some fun with that one. Now, what I also do when I'm painting this part, or this step, I will take a look and see how consistent the coverage is. And if it's really, really spotty, this one's kind of getting there. There is something I will go back and do. Now the thing is, you don't want to overlayer while this is still wet. It'll pull the paint up, which we don't want to do that. That gets to be aggravating. So while it is tempting to glob it on, you don't want to do too much because then you're actually going to be shooting yourself in the proverbial foot and having to go back over because you've lifted up paint. And trust me, that's not fun to have to deal with. Alright, so here we go. Get into eyeballs. Poke, poke. But yes, I'm an absolute fan of this show. I'm very much looking forward to more. Do I stream at other times than lunch? Lunchtime tends to be the best option for me because in the evenings, that's when I tend to be in games. So for me, streaming for my channel is definitely more of a daytime thing. But, you know, we shall see. 2020 could prove to be interesting. Let me put it that way. Let me keep moving this around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the denim on him completely on his face and then let it dry because I actually have my space heater going. I don't know if you hear that whirring sound, but that's my space heater keeping me warm. It also really helps with drying paint. So his little head will go in front of the space heater while I then paint the body. I will say the body goes a lot faster simply because I actually don't work too hard on hiding the striations. They start looking like fabric. So I use that to my advantage. And there's not as much layering to the colors because I'm not bringing out the nuances of a skin undertone. So that is just a little heads up for you when you go to do this. The body is going to take not that much prep work, or paint work, I should say. Prep work could be a different story. So we have that. I like how this is supposed to be like, what is it? It's house and electro, so I guess the swing is working its way in. So, let's see here. Since I use your FDM printer for printing scenery and suggestion how to get the striations out of rough stone. Honestly, I would... that does get tricky. Is there any way to use some of the striations to your advantage? Or, honestly, you might just need to put on a couple layers of the Mod Podge paint or spray the Mod Podge Ultra to fill things in more. Those would be my suggestions. A lot of it would depend. I'd have to look at the pieces, honestly. Well, I mean, HC, I always have these up on VOD, video on demand, so you can watch them after the fact and then interact with me on Twitter. There you go. Yeah, it's one of those things where trying to find the time to do the streams, this actually turned into sort of a sweet spot because, like I said, I stream a lot in the evenings for games. I DM the Last Dare, and then I'm in the Dawnbringers on Thursdays, Last Dares on Sundays. Links in the description below. Just taking a look here while I chitter-chatter. Yeah, I'm going to let him dry. He's going to need another layer of this one. So... that was one of the concerns was my evenings between my own children's schedules and their extracurriculars and my evening schedules. Streaming in the evening for the art stuff is really difficult. Plus, I'm also more tired at that point. So visually for me, I prefer to stream during the day if possible. And I also do have, as Jan is bringing up, I have a strong following in Europe. So for them, they're missing out on when I stream in the evenings for the games because, I mean, some of you are setting alarm clocks and waking up at 2 a.m. So it was one of those things where I was like, let me get something going specifically so that they too can enjoy being in a chat and interacting. So that's why I try and keep these to daytime as well, so that, you know, both sides of the pond get a little bit of attention. It's really the rationale behind it all. Not napping Jolene. Hello, Jolene! Alright, I don't know why we went into this ska swing. Give me a second. Come on, TeknoAxe. There we go. Cantrielle. I love how I just jump right into her voice. I am having her at, she's level 8. 2 Ranger, 6 Bard. Yeah, she's level 8 now. I think we're going to be there for a little bit. We play tomorrow night. I'm so excited. I miss my people. I really do miss playing Cantrielle too. She's so much fun. And I have fantastic new ears to wear with her. These are the ones that one of my patrons got me, and I love wearing them for just like this type of stream. But Thor Draco, if you're still in there, he or they, I should say, got me these lovely, 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 lovely ear cups. That's what they're called. But they're very dramatic, and they're very Cantrielle. I did put a picture up on Twitter. And also on Instagram, I want to say. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is jumping over to Full Cart, which is still plaid. And I am doing the coffee latte. And that's going to go on the main body of the robe. Like I said, I'm going to kind of switch between the two because right now I want that paint. Oh yeah, as it's drying, I'm seeing it's getting more splotchy. So this is not the coverage I want because this is going to look really shoddy. So this is drying, and actually it's slightly drier to the touch. I'm going to do a layer of this now. A quick little light spritz. When you use Mod Podge Ultra, I just have a box right next to me to catch the mist. Sounds like a movie. Catch the Mist. Or a game. Catch the Mist. Ooh. Game title idea. So I'm just going to take this. What you do is you give it a couple shakes. And then just do just a few squirts. Okay, I think I did 6 total on that one. And like I said, I have my space heater going to keep me warm. So I'm going to pop that in front of there. So that's going to give me a nice little layer of sealing between the layers of paint. which I have found with my 3D prints. This is not something I'd say do on a WizKids primed type of style or anything like that. But for my 3D prints, I found that what I'm doing helps. Okay, so back to body. It's all about the body. I'm going to go in with Coffee Latte, and I'm going to paint his widow robes. I love the robes. They're so darn cute. And I'm jumping it up to a 3/8 inch angle brush. Again, this is from the Color by Me from PLAID. They send me these fantastic brushes. I really enjoy using them. I find that these guys last a heck of a lot longer. Really a good quality brush, and it's a great price. I want to say I've seen it from $6 to $9, depending on, I swear to God, some of the Walmarts just change their pricing. But you can find it at Walmart, or you can find them online, plaidonline.com. Catch the Mist, great name for a goth metal band. That is true, too. You're right, Dan Dun. Dun, dun, dun. I'm just going to have to do that. It's just where my mind's going right now. So I'm doing a coat of the Coffee Latte first. And this is the area where it's more of like that terry cloth-esque material that you see in the show. Now I am also going to be doing a wash on the body. There will be no washes done on the head, but the body I do want to do a wash because, like I said, the texture of the PLA, it actually has a great fabric-like look to it. So I want to bring that out, which is why I am doing this in Coffee Latte and not going to a darker brown. I already know that the tone's going to be dropped once I put the brown wash onto it. So I'm not so much looking for a darker brown to bring up. I'm looking for a brown that I can keep balancing as I go along. And it will be getting some dry brushing too, with a different color. And same thing, you may find, this also happens as your minis get bigger and you're using these particular paints. You're probably going to have to go in and do 2 layers, which is totally fine. It's better to do thin layers and add on and making sure you're working that paint in than to overwork it and just get globs. All these tips are making me feel less guilty about. Well, I mean, I'm glad it's helping you out though, Puddin'. I really am. Because like I said, I had a lot of people asking me questions. And I know that I have done 3D models in the past explaining things. Hello, Miguel! But I thought it'd be good to sort of refresher course it, especially since this mini is one that is still on everyone's radar, just to kind of help promote that factor. So, here we go. Yeah, I'm not going to stress myself out because you can tell it's kind of splotchy, but going back in with a second coat is definitely going to help that one out. Miguel the Magnificent. Please go over and check out Miguel. He has MZ4250 on Thingiverse and Shapeways and does the most excellent thing of providing people, I'm not going to stress too much about that because I'll paint over that, with free STL files for a lot of different miniatures, especially D&D ones. Please go over and check him out. That's my plug for you, bud. Plug for the buddy. Always gotta plug the buddies. So yeah, definitely some cool things to check out while you're there. Hold on. I'm pulling out a frame so I can look at something a little more closely. Which is funny because this is a bigger mini. That was the other funny thing. Painting larger minis, you're like, woo, I could spend a lot of time on doing this, that, and the other. Makes me want to consider maybe doing busts. PC busts, because this has gotten me like, oh, not that I don't mind painting the smaller ones, but that could be kind of cool to explore. Just be a matter of finding one I'd want to devote time to doing that with. Yeah, what do you think? Do you want to watch me paint one of those larger scale busts? Oop, I did. Silly girl. Alright, let's get the other one. I know, and I appreciate it. Thanks, buddy. Miguel and his wife were a huge help at PAX Unplugged. I had a workshop, and it was lots of supplies because it was terrain. So there was this, that, and the other thing. And they helped me get set up in record time so I could actually breathe before people came in for the workshop itself. And I do have plans to attend PAX Unplugged for 2020. I am going to be going to ECCC in March. I still don't know officially about PAX East. That's hinging on if I'm invited into panels, because that sort of helps with some certain aspects. So PAX East is a question mark. I would love to. I went last year. It was pretty cool. But I'm switching paintbrushes because the inside sleeves are smaller. So that's a question mark convention. Origins might be back on deck. We shall see about that one. I do want to hit Gen Con. And then I have the castle for 3 weeks in September. La! And after that is Nerdarchy Con down in that Pennsylvania, Philadelphia area. And then what? I said PAX Unplugged. So I think those are some of the bigger ones I was thinking about going to. Keep that in mind. Thingiverse has been getting interesting. I agree. It's been clunky. In fact, when I went to go and try and find the links to these miniatures, it would just stutter over itself and not go anywhere. I need a sip. Hold on. I need a drink of my Gatorade. My salts are low. It's got electrolytes and stuff. Oh, I didn't know that Prussia has a new site. Thanks, Miguel. That's good to know. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is move to a smaller brush, like I said. So this is from a different packet. This is the number 2 flat from their mini paint packet, which is one of these. So it comes in all these lovely hot pinks and everything. And then use that to get, because you can see there are these smaller sleeves that are sticking out. So I want to go in and get those with a smaller one. And then I'll go back and do the lighter color on, like I said, like that Sherpa-like material. You can tell it's been a while since I've been on a stream. It's what plants crave. Thank you! Although, quite frankly... Ooh, see, I have a little... Hold on. Just a moment. I have a little bit of strand hanging out here I didn't see before. Just pluck that off, if I can. There we go. Okay, much better. Yeah. Watch Idiocracy. It's not so funny anymore, some parts. It's like, okay. But that's what that's from. It's got electrolytes and stuff. The whole premise is, more intelligent people stopped, for lack of a better word, breeding. And those of lower intelligence levels, they continued to. And it just kept depleting the intelligence factor of the human race as a whole until it was a collection of less well-informed and thoughtful humans, I guess, is the best way to explain it. Let me tip the camera slightly. There we go. So yeah, the electrolytes and stuff is because they basically took Gatorade and started putting it over everything, even the plants. You're putting salt on plants, people. So yeah, there were issues with that one. It's an interesting movie. It's a very interesting movie. Oh boy, how are we doing on time? All right, so we're at the half-hour mark. Lovely. That's exactly where I want to be. I'm actually going to even jump down to an even finer brush because I forgot there's this little loop-de-doop at the top I want to catch. That's a technical term. The loop-de-doop. Here we go. But like I said, the nice thing about having the mini in 2 pieces, it does make this a lot easier to focus on the different parts and get one area addressed while the other is drying. Hold on, I gotta think. When I get quiet, you know I'm thinking. Thinking really hard here. Okay, so there we go, the sleeve. Oh, see, I thought I tried a new playlist. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. Funky Love Disco. Okay, we'll see. You know, I need to go back and watch that movie again. Or should I? I don't know. Did I or don't I? I'm actually just going to stick with the smaller one right now. And shift over to the other sleeve. Might as well, right? It's already been 30 minutes. Could you stream until 5? I don't think so. I don't think my voice is going to hold out until 1:30, to be quite honest. It's been a while since I've been at Chatterbox. Plus with the space heater going, it dries my mouth out right quick. I'm going to take another sip soon. But, yes, I got some really cute miniatures for Christmas. I finally got, and the regulars are going to huzzah on this one, finally got the Mama Owl Bear with her 2 cubs from Dark Sword. So that'll be cool to get painted. I might make that a stream just because I have been eagerly awaiting that set for ages. So finally they are mine. And they're stinking adorable. I just have to think about how I want them to look. Because I do try and base them off of owls, color-wise. Although the one I painted, it looks like our cat. But he looks like an owl, so that's debatable. Alright, still going in here with coffee, Mus'e. Get your coffee. And again, with the craft paint, just, you know, make sure what you're layering on isn't too thick or isn't too thin, because you can pull the paint up, or it can get too splotchy on you. And this is definitely going to be a 2-layer paint, I can tell already. Just from how this dried, it's going to need another layer, but I'll show you what I do to help make it sort of cover a little bit better. But I don't do on the first layer again because I'm trying to get these striations, there's the word, to fill in a little bit better. But if you have resin, you could probably get away with 1, if you so chose. So, what have you all been up to? It's been like, what, 3 weeks? Almost like a month? I'm trying to think. It's been a hot minute, let's put it that way. Any fun projects for anyone? Any horror stories of gifts you got that you're like, what do I do with this? What am I supposed to do with that? Okay, so that's with coffee latte, and I'm going to go in, I'm going to do khaki. Again, this is for Apple Barrel. Again, still plaid. This is all plaid products. Just because they send me such lovely things, and I love working with their stuff. I need a drink. Not sponsored. Alright, here we go with khaki. And then I'm putting on the cuffs and the cowl for this little buddy. And then we'll go back over to his lovely little face. Because he's got a cute little face. I mean, God, look at this. Even though it's a different mini pose. Actually, it's a different creator too. But, God, that little face. And the sounds they have for his little voice. Oh! Pardon me while I gush. Yeah, you had that dungeon tile project going. Came out well. It really did. Cool stuff there, John. If you have not discovered us yet, sorry, let me get this back into frame. If you have not discovered the Tabletop Crafters Guild, it is a group on Facebook. Again, there should be a link in the description below. Just tell them V sent you. But you do need to make sure you fill out the questionnaire, please. Please make the life of the admins a little bit easier by answering those 3 questions, please. Oh, that's a cool thing, Opera Ghost. That they're into architecture. I think that's fantastic, honestly. Yeah, this is definitely going to be 2 coats all the way around. So I'm going to get first coat on the body as well. Do another spritz of the Mod Podge Ultra. And go from there. Now, I know the head sits in a certain part, but I still am kind of doing a little bit of insurance policy here by painting a little bit further in than I need to. Just to be sure. Something I would recommend if you're going to paint this one up. But yes, please join us in the Tabletop Crafters Guild. Feel free to share the miniatures you have painted or the terrain you're creating. But be sure to read through those rules, people. Ugh. They're there for reasons. We don't ask for much. So you can go and check that out. I do have a Discord. Discord is being weird for me. always fun. I'm not getting notifications or anything like that. And even if I go in sometimes, it seems I need to shut down my computer or my phone to get it going. Go to Sleep, Baby Yoda music video. Oh my god, so funny. I will have to check that out. Trust me, I get... Because people know how much I love this fellow. So they are sending me everything under the sun related to this little cutie pie. So I've been enjoying it. The one I did not enjoy was the stupid one where he keeps getting hit over and over again. That was not funny. That's not what happened in the show. It's just someone looped the clip and it was like, what? Really? Seriously? You have to take it there? I do not find that amusing. Not in the least. Alright, so here we go with Kiyaki. Yeah. Oh, for sure, we're going to do more layers because this one's streaky. That happens. It's a thing. It's a thing we can work with. So, let's see, we're talking about Christmas presents. So we had 3D printer to make Christmas presents, which I think is wonderful. Is the creator. I will have to check that out, Mac Attack, and give that a look-see. Kelly, the opera geek, she is my darling friend, and she sends me stuff all the time because she knows I'm like locked and loaded. What? Creepy? Alien baby is not creepy. Alien baby we must protect. Let me tell you, maternal instinct totally kicks in with this one. God, you add in those baby sound and stuff. I'm done. I'm done. Like, I legit was crying at one point for reasons. Yeah, I'm slightly attached to this little cutie. And it's funny to see how people are having fun with the memes, too. Like the OK Boomer one is a riot. OK Boomer. Print out items for each and then hide them throughout their homes. Oh boy, you're gonna traumatize your friends. Ike. So I technically have 3? She says with a question mark because I don't know where the itty bittiest one went. I have 3 miniatures going of this guy. The story behind the first one is that my youngest knows how much I adore him. I adore this sweet little child. So my sweet little child insisted that I get a mini of him. And the way it was presented was just too gosh darn cute, might I add. He knows that I love the little clips of the sipping the cup. So this is appropriate. So I love it where he's like sipping the cup, gifs and everything. Gifs is a hard G, graphic, gif. And he picked out it's actually a lovely mug. I don't have it with me. It's in the dishwasher. Hello, Kentucky Fried Games! You know I enjoy seeing your name pop in there. So I opened up what I thought was a nice new tea mug, and I was thrilled to bits just for that, because I was saying, oh, I need a nice new big tea mug, because sadly, the one that I have, it's this cobalt blue glass one that is stunning, and I love it, and I got it for like super cheap at like a secondhand shop or something like that. It's starting to fall apart. Like, it's chipping at the base, and there's a chip now at the lip, so I've kind of inadvertently cut my lip sipping my tea, which is not a fun thing to do. So I was like, oh yay, I got this beautiful new, it's a stoneware mug, dishwasher safe, microwave safe, beautiful colors of like actually, it's these colors, I'm not even kidding, it's these colors with a copper metallic band between the two of them. It's beautiful. I'll use it next one. So I was like, oh my gosh, this mug is beautiful, and there was tissue paper in there. I thought the tissue paper was in there so it wouldn't get broken. He goes, no, there's more to it, Mom, you gotta take the tissue paper out. I was like, well, okay. So I took the tissue paper out, and as soon as I grabbed it, I realized there was some heft to the tissue paper, and I pulled out this miniature of the child, and I was just, I was so excited to get him painted up, and I took a day to myself, and I haven't done this in ages, pardon me. I took a day to myself just to sit and paint a mini that I wanted to paint for myself. Not because it was needed in a campaign or anything like that. There was something very zen about getting it painted up. Just quiet time. I had music playing. At one point I had something playing. Oh, I had like a conspiracy theory series on, which not that I buy into them, it's just I find it very interesting how people come up with these theories. And plus, as a DM, they're good. They come in helpful for certain things. I think I will switch to a different brush soon. So yes, that's how I got the first mini. And then because I had such fun painting the first mini, another mini got printed out, and another one got printed out. 600 tiles? You're nuts. That's dedication, John. That is truly dedicated work. They did come out fantastically. And again, go over to the Tabletop Crafters Guild. He's got photos up there as well as in his own D&G creative community on Facebook. Check both out. Give them a look-see. At the bar. Alright, still working with Kiyaki. Now I did notice that the differentiation line between these two bits got slightly... This is our printer, this is not the design. It got slightly warped and more ridged than I would have liked, so I had to smooth out more to it, and I lost detail as a result. So I'm going to just do a paint line for the delineation. Let me see here. Yeah, I may drop down a level or a style of a brush. Like, it's good for the wider bits, but slightly tricky for... Let me use it in the bigger sections, and then I'll go back in with a smaller brush. I think it's how I'm going to have to handle this. But you can kind of see there's extra texture at the bottom. It's like the printer just sort of hiccuped on itself at that particular spot. But the majority of the print was fine. There's a Warhammer mini called Orc Snot in the Pram. Oh, that sounds hysterical. Can you, when you get that, could you share that on Twitter, please, and tag me? I'd love to see what it looks like. I'm always a fan to see new minis coming out, to the point where it's like an obsession to see. She knows how to speak and not choke on her drink at the same time. I swear. So yes, this was one of those fun things where I was not expecting a little mini of the child, and I got my little mini of the child, and I'm very happy with it. Oh, here's the other fun thing I've started doing. You'll get a kick out of this. I started to learn how to play Minecraft because both of my kiddos play it, and they're super into it. And it's one of those things where I thought, you know what, just for fun, to have something to do with them. Especially in the wintertime, because for me, wintertime gets tricky with my injured back injury type of thing. So something where I can just sort of sit and mellow out with them, fantastic. So I was like, all right, let me see if I can start picking up a game. And like, oh, you really should get into Minecraft, Mom. And a few other people on Twitter also said, no, start playing Minecraft. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I could. My kids are always constantly on it. And I realized my kids are always like on it and they enjoy it. So maybe it's something I should explore. So I started exploring it. And yes, I'm enjoying it because it's freaking crafting on your computer. So what I did start doing, if you're on Twitter, thank you, Totopotamus. Use the hashtags. I have 2 now. Start out as 1. Use the hashtags. The first one is V is playing Minecraft. And the second one is the Minecrafting Muse. Kid you not. I'm trying to do like screenshots and stuff and update people. But I have been enjoying myself. And it's one of those things my buddy Dan is also helping me learn. Thank God. Because trying to play with the kids and they're trying to teach is... You do this, Mom, and then they're off. They have dubbed me, and I'm going to say it this time, because we're talking about my personality and how they feel about my playing with them. They have dubbed me Baby Yoda because they have to protect me, is their mindset when I play with them. So we have a little family world that the 2 of them have just gone off and running with and creating stuff. And like yesterday, I got 3 pet dogs because the youngest brought these dogs to me. I have to put this onto Twitter. I'll share it later this afternoon. I accidentally killed one. I felt so bad, but in my defense, I was being attacked by a skeleton, and I was using my sword, and the damn thing jumped in front of me, because they're supposed to protect you, and I accidentally hit the dog instead of the skeleton, and I guess the skeleton had been hitting the dog too, and then I heard a woo, and bye, pupper dog. I didn't even have a chance to name them yet. That's how new it was. So I have 2 dogs and a cat. I have to figure out names for the 2 dogs. I'm very tempted to Salt and Pepper as names, because my cat's name on Minecraft, not in real life, is Muffin. It's like Muffin the kitten. So we've done that, and then last night we were playing together as a family, the 3 of us, and I inadvertently discovered a fantastic way to fight zombies, because I put a greenhouse on the back of my portion of the room to our, we call it our hobbit home, because we built our house into, is it a mountain? I don't know, I'm still learning terminology, so forgive me. It's sort of like, you know, a lot of earth and a hill, I guess. So we just dug out into the hill and we've made this lovely little home. It's hysterical. I should do like a house tour. Oh, I should do a little Hobbit home house tour. That would be hysterical to share with everyone. So, oh God, I'm chatty all of a sudden, aren't I? So I was in my little garden house, and what I was supposed to be doing is being lookout for the boys, because they were out in the yard fighting zombies. And I could see the zombies from my garden house because it's all glassed in. And we shout at each other between the different rooms in the house. It's hysterical as can be, which I won't videotape because I'm very protective of their identities. But we're shouting at each other, and I was like, guys, there's zombies coming. What I didn't realize is they had gone to chase another mob. Yes? So they went to go chase another mob, and they weren't in my visions anymore. So I opened up my door to my glass garden house, and a zombie started walking in towards me, and I just start like whacking them with my diamond sword. And I was able to kill it without getting injured. And then more start coming my way, and what I basically created was like this bottleneck syndrome. I killed them all, and they didn't even touch me. So I'm sitting there all proud of myself. I killed the zombies! I'm killing zombies! Which, of course, for the next encounter got me rather cocky, and I went to fight a witch, and they poisoned me. That was not fun. But yeah, so I was like, okay, so if I have to fight a whole bunch of zombies, just try and lure them into a place where I can fight them from inside a door. That's what I learned. But yeah, I'll put this stuff up on, because I didn't do that yet, I'll put these stories up on Twitter too. So if you're enjoying my ramblings about playing Minecraft, do check out V is playing Minecraft hashtag, as well as the Minecrafting Muse. Who dubbed me with that one? I forgot who gave me that name. They're like, so are you the Minecrafting Muse now? I'm like, sure, because that's fun. It's also, you know, on brand. So yeah, we have that going for us. See, I get chatting with you guys, and then I get slower. Forgive. I am being careful here, because again, this is sort of the zone where our printer hiccups slightly. And also, it's one of those things making it like this. So yeah, I've been enjoying Minecraft. I have my own world, where I just basically putter around and explore and learn how the system works. Don't laugh, I am most proud of the fact that I have tamed 2 turtles, and I have like a little turtle conservatory going on. So my 2 turtles are in there, and I inadvertently got a horse and also a donkey. I did not want the donkey. The donkey is now gone finally. Got that one out of there. But I have a horse too. I just need to get around to making a saddle, I think is what I need, to be able to actually ride it around. And have been digging holes. I'm not singing the song. I will not get that stuck in people's heads. And fun stuff like that. So it's been a learning experience, and it's just been fun to sort of sit and unwind just for myself. They have turtles! I like turtles. Yes, they have turtles. I play it's the Bedrock version, essentially. It's Windows for 10, but also called Bedrock. If you have Java, I don't know if Java has that. And the only reason why I know this is because our one son had Java, and we realized that there was issues between going from the PlayStation 4 and his, so just whatever. There's headaches with that one. That took some finagling, but I'm proud of myself. I figured out what to do and how to get that one. Too late in your head. Sorry, Puddin'. But it is fun just to sort of sit and putter around and have a place where I can just, quite frankly, goof around. I won't be streaming or anything like that because I am such a spaz. I'm sure it'd be comical as all get up, without question, but there's something to be said about not having to be on all the time. So I have no problem sharing my screenshots and stories after the fact, but while I'm kind of in the groove of just digging holes, I want to keep it that way. So, yeah, not going to stream. Maybe outside of, like, recording the, it's been 4 years since you played. Maybe just, like, recording the house tour type of stuff, but I'm not going to go and do the whole, this is my sitting down to play on Twitch type of thing. Which, for those who do, more power to you, because that takes guts. I'd be, like, mortified more often than not. So you do like the electro swing. It is fun. It's just sometimes the, there's Dungeon Matron. Hello, I got a lovely, lovely note from you. Thank you so much. That absolutely made my day. I was having one of those days where it was just like, not doom and gloom, but it was a one thing after the next type of day. And then I got your lovely little note, and that just brightened things up. Thank you so much for that. It was greatly appreciated and very thoughtful of you. So, I'm almost done here with the sleeves. And I didn't change the brush. Ha 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 ha. I'm Gabby. That's what I'm doing. So, yeah, it's a riot. I never thought I'd be playing Minecraft. And then the other thing we're doing is we're walking around going, like the villagers. It's funny. And they're enjoying it too. The one keeps saying, I can't believe my mom is playing Minecraft with us. Oops, I just hiccuped. Hold on. Quick little go in and, yep, that got it out. So, yeah, it's been fun getting into the groove of it. All right, cool. So we're sweeping up into top of the hour for 1 o'clock. That's not bad. Da-da. So what I'll do is I'll finish getting the base colors on this one, and I'll move on to showing you what I do for the next layer, because this did come out more spotty. And we'll just pick up with this fellow next Wednesday. Now, I will not be on Friday for the very basic reason of I'm going on a school trip. My little guy has a school trip and asked if I could be one of the chaperones. So, yes. I thought it'd be fun to go. All right, so I'm going to leave him at this and let it dry for the body. And again, this is going to get another layer of the same colors. So coffee, latte, khaki, folk art, and apple barrel, respectively. And then, I am going to do the Mod Podge spritzer on it. And you can do it if the paint is still slightly wet. That is something else I wanted to mention. Just don't go too ham, because then it will affect things. So, I'm going to spritzing. All right, you sit there and dry. Just wipe my hand off. Yay for New Year! Field trip, anything fun. It's sort of like a mathletes type of competition. So he and a couple of the other little kiddos are going to this enrichment program to do math activities that's presented by, I want to say it's like 5 different schools. And each of the schools participate, and it's just a fun way to kind of get kids into STEM and mathematic activities. So I thought I'd go, and really, the most thing, bye Miguel, thank you for joining us. Really what I have to do mostly as a chaperone for this trip is just keep an eye on the kiddos. They don't ask us to really do much. They might be like, hey, can you kind of help with XYZ passing out supplies? But yeah. Thank you for joining, Mac Attack. Have a lovely day. And I appreciate that. Okay, so while body dries, we are back to the head. Now the head has gotten its denim, apple barrel denim, and then I did a spritz of the Mod Podge Ultra on top. Again, that helps start filling in the striations even more. I don't like how this is dried, and I know I need another layer because I want this to be a consistent base color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my denim, but I'm also going to get my thinner out. Which you can use with craft paint. Here it is. Where's my mixing stick? I have a little. It's a chopstick that I keep chopping down. I use this for mixing. So I'm going to go back to denim blue, and I'm going to thin out just a little pile I actually have left. And you want this to be sort of the consistency of, let's say 2% milk. I try and give food references that are more universal for people. It went from being like a sour cream consistency to 2% milk. Rather technical, yes. The reason why I'm thinning it out now is because I just want to get a nice even coating. And that should help me achieve that. Alright, so that's mixed. Hopefully it comes out well. Thank you, Vincent. I've already done one of them. One of the various poses you can find on Thingiverse. So ideally it's going to come out looking similar to this fellow. It's just I don't have, this model doesn't have the texture. I think I can cheat this though with some sponging. We shall see. We shall see. So now I'm going to go back into the head, which sounds interesting. And with that thinned out denim, I'm just going to go in and do a thin layer of the denim to help get a more even tone. Now this also starts to help also seeping into those striations for those of you dealing with a PLA style 3D print mini, as opposed to a resin print mini, which tend to be smoother. Oh, Melody Man. This is actually one I like. Sorry, random observation. So again, this is just, the second layer is more for consistency and tone to get rid of the splotchiness. And it does start to fill in a little bit more as a result, as you can see. So I'm going to put this on. Because it has been thinned out, you will find it's going to dry faster. So I'm going to put this on, and then I will also go back in and, oop, hold on, that's a fuzzy. I will go back in and do another spritz of the Mod Podge Ultra. I'm telling you, with these 3D prints, that has become my go-to. I try to, with the major layers at least, especially the base ones, get that Mod Podge Ultra in there just to really help it get more smoothed out and more of a consistent look. You can get it on my website. If you go to thecraftingmuse.com, I have my Amazon shop set up and I have it in there, so you can just click and purchase. It comes in matte and gloss. Oh no, Dungeon Matron, that stinks. Oof, I'm sorry to hear from that. That really is a shame. Ooh. Yeah, see, that's another thing I have now set up on my website. It's a direct, it's like Patreon, but it's direct. It goes into a PayPal account. You can pay with your credit card. You can pay with PayPal, however you so choose. You can pick the amount. You can make it monthly. You can make it once a month. It's actually a donate button on the left-hand side of my website. I've been noticing some issues with Patreon, and they personally are making me uncomfortable as a consumer, which for me, I am not thrilled about for my patrons. So this is something I was going to announce more official to my patrons. I completely understand if you want to jump ship from Patreon and instead use this option on my website. And that way it's working through PayPal, which I've been working with PayPal for over a decade now. And I think I've had one issue, both as a consumer and as a provider of services. And both times they were quick to act and quick to help. So I feel far more comfortable with recommending now this PayPal setup that I have going. So if it's something where you want to still help the channel out, but you're not happy with Patreon, which I understand, I have lost a couple patrons to this, actually. They weren't happy about their credit cards getting compromised. I don't blame them. So you're more than welcome to go and check that out if you so choose. So Dungeon Matron, it's up to you if you want to keep going through Patreon. If you want to give the other one a try, by all means, please, and let me know if you have any problems. Oh, geez, Dragon Shadow, that stinks. That's no good. All right, so this is with the second layer that's been thinned out, and you can very much see it's now nice and consistent. You can see the striations have dropped drastically. So I am going to spritz his little noggin, again with the Mod Podge Ultra Matte. I wouldn't recommend doing gloss for these. Defu, just go to the website and click on the donate now. It's all set up and it's super easy. It's going to link you right to a thing where you can select and go from there. One-time payment, monthly payment if you so choose. Easy peasy done. So yeah, that's the best way to do it. So yeah, there's a few things floating in the air, floating in the ether. One of them is I am questioning Patreon. But I want to make sure, because people are quite generous and very much want to help and support things. And thank you truly, because a lot of that does help me keep things going in terms of equipment. Really, the equipment is a big help. So that's why I started researching things, and I found out I could through my own website just do something that's an easier base, and something I feel is a little bit more trustworthy. The channel itself has been opened up to the subscription option, which I haven't had a chance to sit down and look into yet, because there's other things happening. There's so much behind the scenes right now that I can't talk about and I want to talk about, but I can't. So for me, it's if this, then that. If not this, then a whole kerfuffle. But the Patreon opt to something different, to the PayPal. I'm calling it PayPal patrons. That's there. If you're really getting concerned about your account. I had an issue with my card getting declined because of my 1 month with Patreon, because I do support a few people on there personally. I wasn't happy about that because I was traveling. It was a headache and a half. Luckily, it was a quick phone call, and it was Capital One too. My Capital One, I've been with them for so long. They're like, oh, fixed right away, no problem whatsoever. Thank God, because like I said, I was traveling. But that made me a little gun shy. So I wanted to start researching different options. Luckily found it. So if any of my patrons are watching, that is now open to you if you so choose. Also, almost all the dice are out. I'm telling you. The international ones actually make my post office person start shaking because they get nervous getting in all the right information. So I've had to do those in increments of like, okay, we're mailing these 2 out today, and then these 2. The last 2 are going out today for those of you who are international. So the 2nd edition die are all out. If you do not get, this is for my patrons. My patrons always get at the end of the year, beginning of the year, the next edition of the Crafting Muse D6. If you have not gotten your die by, let's say, mid-February, please let me know and I will send you another one to replace the whatever happened to the first one sent out deal. Why did I put that away? Okay, so I'm going to go back in and doing the same thing. I'm going to thin out these paints with my paint thinner. And I'm going to do a 2nd layer onto the body as well. A Muse with so many... Honey, I'm beyond an onion. I do have many layers. I have many, many layers. So we'll do that. We're going to get this going first with a coffee latte layer. Now this one comes out super thick. I mean, this one is toothpaste thick. So I'm really going to be thinning this one out. And I just use... I've actually used a few different thinners. I haven't found one to be better than the others or preferable over the others, all said and done. Just whatever speaks to you, quite frankly, in your own products. I have a die, yes, if you meet me at conventions, or if you are one of my patrons, the 1st edition is a light blue with white lettering and the Crafting Muse old logo, because I updated the logo between the 2 on it. And then, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to thin this out even more because that's like ketchup now, and I want this milky. Yours is going out today. Yours is going out today, Jan. Nobody likes onions. Muse. Parfait. Yeah, but I can't eat parfait. I can eat onions. I can't eat parfait. What was I saying? So yeah, if you see me at conventions, I usually have the dice on hand. Or if you're one of my patrons, you'll get one too. But right now, the 2nd edition one is the Jade's, I think it's called Scarab, from Chessex. I work with Chessex for these. And it has gold lettering with the updated Muse logo on the 6. Always the 6, because Chessex does it right. And they're very good to people. I like to roll stats for my characters using line. All right, bye, Opera Ghost. Thank you so much for joining today. It was great to see you. Truly, truly, truly. Okay, I'm going to go in with the... Let's find out one of those. Yeah, I guess I'll use this one because it's a second layer. So I'm going to go in with my 3/8 inch one again, and this has been thinned out. So I'm just going to get this so it gets into the nooks and crannies a little bit better. And get a slightly more consistent coverage. Oh, I'm glad you got to use yours and show it off. Those are the D6 I'll use for when I'm roguing. For sure. I like to see my logo. Let's put it that way. It's very good about showing off logo. Which at first I thought, oh, maybe that's just the nature of the dice from Chessex, but I have other personalized logo dice that Chessex has done for other people. Don't get the same results. I think it's a Muse thing. I don't know. But yeah, so I like them. I should have some with me for ECCC because I was so busy at PAX Unplugged, I was convinced I'd run out, but I kept forgetting to hand them out. So if you see me at one of these conventions, please ask me, do you have your dice on you? Because if I don't have the dice, I do try and have at least a sticker or something. So yeah. There's that. I got to start thinking about the 3rd edition, though. So we'll see. Decide what color I want to do for that one. Because Chessex has some really gorgeous colors that still kind of stick with the whole spacey nebula inspiration stuff I have going on for the channel brand. Now this is going to be getting a wash with Agrax. So I'm not as fully concerned about this being fully consistent because I know this is something I want to read more as fabric. Okay? So it's actually okay if I get some variations going on. It'll sort of fit with his rough-hewn fabric of his outfit, his robe that you see in the show. But it is giving me a better consistency, as you can see right there. But yeah, the whole D6 thing, I don't remember how that got fully started. I think I just wanted to have some fun swag to hand out to people. And I know, because I started playing a bard. And you can give out inspiration. So I was like, wouldn't it be cool if I could hand out inspiration? And then I realized, oh, I could hand out D6s. The other option was a D10, because Chessex will do a D10 or do a D6. Something to keep in mind. So I decided to go with D6 because those tend to be a little bit more universal with different role-playing games and other tabletop games. So I thought, let's do something that's more accessible and more available all around, as opposed to just specifically for Dungeons and Dragons type of stuff. Which I'm glad I did, because it has gone over well for people, being able to use it for more than just one game here or there. But yeah, that's the whole D6 thing. And a few other people have started doing the same. I know Wylock has some made for when he does his Warhammer games. He got a whole bunch pulled together for using on his Warhammer game at Mace, which was fun to see. That was cool. People were happy to see his logo. What else? Who else? Ted from Nerdarchy. He's done Nerdarchy as well as Dawnbringer ones. That's been fun. It's just a fun thing to do. And, of course, the more you order, the prices will vary. So if you order more, the price drops, etc. You get a better deal. Ooh, don't touch the sides. So if that's something you're like, oh, I'd kind of like to get some custom dice for myself made up for whatever reason. Like if you want to get it for your players for your game and pick out a cool type of logo to put onto it, you could very easily do that. For sure. Almost done here with the sleeves. Ooh, I missed a little bit right there. Go back in and quickly fix that. But yeah, Chessex is great. It does take a little bit of time. Heads up, it's usually like 6 to 8 weeks worth. But let me tell you, it is always worth it. I have been so pleased with both versions. They're lovely. They're quite lovely to have. They're quite fun to hand out. So let me set him down and try and get, hold on. Try to be very, very careful. And I'm going to have to go in and do the hands. I just realized, I'm like, oh, I forgot to do the hands. So we'll get this done, and I'm going to paint his hands up. And get that taken care of. Let me get the other little peekaboo sleeve. Oh, that's why I was waiting, because of these sleeves. Method to madness. And it is madness, folks. It is madness. Let me see. Time-wise, how are we? Whoops. I got a slip. 1:14. Okay, yeah. So, I know. Don't at me. I know what I just did. Almost done with this color. And then we'll switch over to khaki. And then I'll paint the hands with the denim blue. Custom dice for your players. Yeah, you can get it in, I want to say it starts at 20 as your first count. All right, Dragon Shadow. Don't look at the clock. Kind of have to. Kind of have other things that need to happen today, too. I think that takes care of coffee latte. Yep. Okay. I'm happy with coffee latte. Let me thin out khaki. And we'll get a layer on khaki, and then we'll do denim blue on the hands. And I think we'll call it done for today for him. And we'll pick up next week with the finer details, which you'll see here. So we'll pick up next week with adding... It's kind of hard to see right now. There you go. The blushing of the ears and the eyes and everything like that. Although his eyes are open on this one, but like around the eyes there is a blush. Wormwood is also gorgeous as well. Wormwood, Level Up Dice. Oh my God, Elderwood Academy. Who else just makes? Oh, and then there's some handmade people. Forget it. Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm not a Math Rocks fiend. No, I'm not a goblin for dice. I love dice. I love them. It's bad. It's really bad. Like, I was making up a new PC for another project, which I can almost fully explain soon. I'm still waiting on a couple of bits of information. But I was making up the PC for this project, and I realized, oh, I need new dice for this one. Now, granted, I got new dice for Christmas, so I took one of those sets and applied it to this character. And then what I did is I actually ordered dice to match the first edition D6 Muse die. Same thing, I just thinned this out. I'm going to go in now with khaki to kind of give that a more consistent coverage. So yeah, I got it's the Chessex Sky Blue Borealis with white lettering. So I got a set of those. And it actually works out quite nicely with the PC. And then I jumped into just this stash of dice that I have. It's not really assigned to any particular character, and pulled out these marbled white ones. Just, again, classic Chessex simple dice that work with the whole theme of this new PC, who I can't wait to share with you guys once I am able to discuss her more. But it should be fun. And it's also the first podcast podcast as a game that I've been a part of. You don't own any, but yet. I'm telling you. I could easily find an excuse any day to get a new set of dice. That's the problem. Well, some may see it as a problem. Others just see it as get more dice. I was so thrilled when I finally got my level up ones. Yes, they're all the, I want to say it's Scarab Green is the name of the Chessex set. Everyone got that green dye this year, Dungeon Matron. Last year it was a sky blue with white lettering. This year it was the sort of like a marbly green blue. It plays off the Nebula art on my channel here, which is why I went with that color combination. So I did that. I'm debating what the third one's going to be, because I think I have I have under, I want to say 50 of this edition, so I know I need to start investing in more just because of the time turnaround. Yeah, they're, those are always good if you got a vault with your, from Wormwood. I always stop by Wormwood's table to say hi to Chris and check out what they got going on. It's one of my convention rituals at this point. I try to get out onto the vendor floor and stop by a couple of booths in particular just to say hello and check things out because I always love checking out their products. Green is perfect for a druid, absolutely. Although, truth be told, I have that green set and I use it for Cantriel. So she has the green in her mix, along with a couple other dice that I got from Tabletop Loot. One was the Famos, which is a beautiful set, and then they sent along with that Neptune's something. It's this beautiful swirly dark blue, which I liked for Cantriel. So that's in her set combination. And then I have my DM dice. I'm telling you, I have all these collections of dice for different reasons. Oh, that's nice. It's your favorite color, Jolene. I'm hovering in purple right now. Seems to be the color I'm gravitating toward. I can't. This is... Ball! Ball! It starts grating my nerves big time. There we go. Alright, so you can see it just, especially looking at the last sleeve that's left and the rest, it just helps getting that better coverage going. And again, it's just thinning out the paint so it's like milk. 2%. It looks like the head's almost dry, so I can show you how the head looks now. Alright, bye, John! Thanks for stopping by. It's appreciated. Really is. Thank you. Oh, that's interesting, Jolene. See, I thought about doing that, but I DM on a stream, and I found that my mini dice are harder to read just because of where I have to roll my dice so they don't get picked up by the microphone. First world problems. But I have to roll my dice underneath my laptop stand, so it's in a darker spot. So instead of like, what's that number? I use my normal dice instead. And then I also have travel dice. And they're travel dice because I got these dice from a certain company that I will no longer name by name. I wasn't happy with the results of what they came out to look like. So I was like, you know what? These are the dice that I bring with me on travel, so if anything happens to them, oh well. It's kind of my mentality for that set. I mean, they're okay looking. They just, honestly, they look like something I could have gotten off of Amazon for a lot less. Hence my displeasure. But I'm not going to mention the company's name because it's not worth it. But makes for a good set of travel dice. Alright, so this one is... Oh, I had a little slip there. Let me fix a couple little points. So that's with the second layer on. However, because I didn't switch that brush, I should have. Oh well. Just need to go in here and tuck. Just fix a couple spots. Which it happens. It's a thing. There we go. It's getting better. Have I used the double 6? No. Yeah, thank you, Jan. Like I said earlier, Discord's been kind of fussy for me. It's not working properly. I don't know what's going on. Might be one of those I need to uninstall and reinstall. So I'm not nearly as active on Discord as I normally could be, just because half the time it won't update properly. I don't see new things until later. No, I have not used those. Hey, Dice Guy, how you doing? So yeah, there is a Discord there. There are some lovely people who interact with each other, to which I am always quite pleased and grateful to see going on. It's just there are literally times I go to see updates and it's like, oh, nothing new. And then the next day I go and it's like, oh, here's some stuff from 2 weeks ago. It's like, Discord. please. So please don't take offense if you don't see or hear from me there. Quite frankly, Twitter is my social media best way to reach me, best way to at me, in all seriousness. I'm just doing some fine tuning here. All right, there we go. Okay, so that's with the second layer as well. As you can see, it's a much better consistency. I'm going to do that Mod Podge spray on, which someone actually, I forgot who I was talking to, they're like, why would you spray it? Like, it's not the paste Mod Podge. This is a new product. It's purposely made so you can spray, and it works really well. So doing another round of this. Again, I only do this on my 3D print minis. This is not something I do on my WizKids or anything like that. Those don't need the layers in between. In fact, I wouldn't recommend doing that because it might start filling in things too much. Great for the very end result. Absolutely like Mr. Beholder here. Okay, this fellow, he's gotten around to the mat on the body. I have to work on the eyes because I'm going to make the eyes super shiny. But he has been used. He has been sprayed down too. Okay, so you're having problems too, Dice Guy. That's good to know, actually, because I'm sitting there, I'm like, like a friend sent me a message 2 days ago. I just saw it today. Wasn't happy about that. And I told him, like, just Discord's not my friend right now. I'm not going to worry about his little cup until next week, because literally just looking at it now, I know I'm just going to go in and dry brush it, and it's going to look like a cute little wooden cup. So we're going to save that for next week. But here is the face, and you can tell, for those of you who've been here since the beginning, those striations have drastically dropped down. They're not as noticeable at all. In fact, they were very evident on the back, and now you have to really look for them. This is something where it'll show up if you take a photo, like a close-up. Absolutely, it's just the way it's going to be with this particular PLA print. But it has smoothed out drastically. I'm not getting, like, I could have run my hand across this in here just from that, and it's just a nice smooth sound now, so that's great. So this is with the 2 layers of the denim going on, the one that got thinned out and everything like that. How are we doing time? We're getting close to the end, and honestly, this is starting to go. The pipes are getting a little scratchy, my darlings. So what we're going to do next week, and God, this disturbs me. Oh, I want to protect my baby. So next week's plan, let's talk about it. I'm going to jump in and we're going to go over to using Granite Gray, and I'm going to use Granite Gray to highlight the details on his face. And then once we do that, that gets the base undertone going for what I did here. I may jump in and do some winter white. We shall see how it translates on this particular mini. I did do the winter white on the other mini just because of how it was textured, because I really want to try and raise things out and negate the layers. Then what we'll do is we'll go in and we'll go in and actually add the blush in, believe it or not. Put the blush on where I need it, so that's going to be in the ears, on the cheekies, and he does have some around his eyes as well. So we'll do some blushing around the eyes. The eyes I'm going to paint last for very good reasons. Then I go in and I do a blend for this first layer of the skin, which is thinned out. That's why the blush goes on first. So it's all these colors put together. We'll be more specific and detailed about this next week. And then go back in once that's dry and do a highlighting layer. Not necessarily dry brushing, because you can bring out the striations, which I don't want to do. But use the palmetto to bring up the upper layers of color, which you can see on this guy is the top of his head. That's the palmetto. But all of these do get a layer of that Mod Podge spritz in between, and it does make a huge difference. Then for the body, what we'll do is, the very first thing out of the gate is we'll do the wash. So the wash has time to dry while I'm working on, I can't pick it up right now because it's still wet. We'll do a wash on the body itself. And then I'm going to go in, and what I want to do is try and give the cowl some texture. So that's going to be going in with, I have one over here, Makeup Wedge. Okay, so giving the texture and just along that. And hopefully it'll give us the effect that I'm hoping for. And then we'll do some dry brushing on the main body of the robe. And hopefully by next week, our sippy cup child version, he'll be all set and ready to go. Okay, so wonderful, wonderful to see you all. My screen's over here where I see you on chat. Wonderful, wonderful to see you all in chat. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, if you want to help out the channel, you can always jump over to my website, thecraftingmuse.com. There's a donate button there. You can also find me on Ko-Fi, Coffee. I always say Ko-Fi. I don't know why. find me over on Coffee. I do have that set up too. Most active over on Twitter. Find me at the Crafting Muse. Very simple, very clear. I'm also on Facebook. Please join us at the Tabletop Crafters Guild. Link is in the description below. In fact, a lot of these links are in the description below. If you want the file for this lovely little guy, again, go into there and the description, and you can click and do that if you so choose. And I think that's about it for me. Oh, no stream on Friday because I'm, wearing my mom hat. I'm going to be a chaperone on a class trip. So I will see you this time next week with this little fellow, and we're going to give him a little bit more details so that he's looking a little bit more like this little fellow. And then I can start leaving my little childs in various parts of the house so I can just smile. This little one makes me happy. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Yeah, my voice is like dropping big time. I need to drink some water and just not talk for a couple hours now. But thank you, thank you, thank you. I will be on Dawnbringers tomorrow night. Join us over there on Mini Terrain Domain. Cantrielle is getting quite ready to get feisty and, oh, that's right. She's on a date. Oh, God. All right, so you can see Cantrielle on a date with a captain. So that's the plan for tomorrow evening. I will see you over on Mini Terrain Domain on Twitch. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, everyone, take care, and I'll see you on the flip side on social media. Bye-bye, everyone. You've been wonderful. Mwah! Kisses for everyone. Where did my mouse go?